All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for episode. I have to look over here, number 38 with Amanda Pad. Um, and let's see what we got from ChatGPT. Today, we're talking about one of the biggest silent threats in mortgage, wire fraud. And we've got the perfect guest to unpack it. Joining us is Amanda Pad, Chief Revenue Officer at Secure Insight, the industry leader in protecting lenders, title agents, and attorneys from wire and disbursement fraud. Amanda spent over a decade in the trenches of third-party risk and fraud prevention, helping companies navigate an increasingly complex cyber threat landscape. She also helped launch TruePay, a solution aimed squarely at protecting funds at the closing table. And if her energy on stage is any indication, she treats fraud prevention a bit like training: disciplined, relentless, and very hard to beat. Amanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, now I'm gonna let's do the fun part. Okay, let's skip mortgage. I want to hear about. All I know is Amanda and Jeremy Train. It looks like ChatGPT. I know there's some I don't know. I've missed the past 2 weeks, so let's talk about that a little bit.
Awesome. Yeah. So last week's episode was so fun. And listening to Liz was awesome. You forgot to mention how Liz is, and she's amazing. But me and Jeremy, you want to talk about us in the gym? Is that what you want to talk about?
Yes, is there a competition there? Is it friendly, or what are we doing here?
Honestly, I just think Jeremy is in great shape. I never even have asked him, does he go to the gym? I kind of just assumed. I don't know. How did you guys know, PK, when you guys were talking to him?
Uh,
Did,
I don't know. The only thing I know about are you talking about Jeremy Potter?
no, Davis.
Oh, Jeremy Davis. Oh, gotcha. I didn't know he works out. I just assumed he just stays in shape.
Welcome to
Yeah.
episode 38. You ready for
I guess this is PK's first day on the job.
When you said Jeremy, I just went to Jeremy Potter. I'm like, yeah, that dude's got a full head of hair. Like, I don't know how he made it to his age with the full head of hair and mortgage.
uh,
Yeah, so I just know he's in great shape. I'm actually going to have to probably call him or text him after this and ask him, like, what do you do to stay in shape? Yeah, for me, myself, what I've actually done recently, I don't know if you followed along, but on the road, I've been collaborating with Matt Gallant from the NBA. Do you guys know Matt?
mhm.
Of
He's
course,
he's
yeah.
pretty awesome, and we've been shooting like ideas back and forth of how to stay, in a routine while on the road, because most people, they're out drinking late, they eat like crap all day or whatever the case may be, and they don't stay. See, for me to be in the best mindset and ready to go at these things, if it really is me staying on routine. I know
Yeah.
Andrew mentioned last week, he knows I wake up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I do that on the road too. I hit
This
the
is
gym.
this is on purpose. This isn't children. There's an actual intention here.
Uh, yeah, no, I do it.
Okay.
I do it. I've been doing it for like over 20 years before
Wow.
I had
Oh,
kids.
wow.
Yeah, this has always been my regimen. And what's really crazy is that I make sure I make it to the gym, but I don't know if you all have heard me say this before, but I don't take meetings before 10 a.m. no matter where I
That's
am. It has
awesome.
to be like a really good reason. And that's because I get up, I do what I have to do to take care of myself first and mentally prepare. Because you guys know how it is on the road. You are on point for 10 to 14 hours straight a day. And depending on the conference, some of these conferences last like 3 days now. You're on, you're on at all times. So I
Hmm.
just take that time in the morning to take a step back, decompress, make sure I'm on point, stay in routine, because that basically sets me up for success for the conference or wherever I am, especially if I'm speaking or whatever the case may be. So that's my routine.
How
I
so?
have. Oh, go
You
ahead.
mentioned go PK. I always love whenever you jump into questions because it's not you jump in the lead. So go take over.
Well, no, I was just gonna say it's funny. So last year, I think I went to a handful of conferences, and uh, you end up staying super late out. You eat like shit. Some of it's okay, right? Like it depends on how when you eat,
Of course.
but but then you just drink a ton, right? And it's like a combination. And then you go to the airport, and then you like your immune system's weak, and then you catch a
Yeah.
bug, and then you're out for like 2 weeks. And so both, I think I did 2 or 3 conferences last fall, and it was the same scenario every single time. And so I'm curious how you balance that, because I was under the assumption, especially as a first time goer of these conferences that, oh, I have to do it this way. I have to drink. And I remember talking to, I think it was Brad Blumberg, and I was like, I was kind of venting to him. I'm like, I'm tired of drinking so much. I don't like drinking at these conferences because you feel like shit the next day. And he's like, you don't have to drink. You can just say no. And I was like, oh, I feel like I needed like somebody else's permission to like not drink. And like, I'm curious how you handle that, because I'm sure a lot of other people are going to conferences, and this is like a common theme.
It is a common theme. And it's funny that you bring that up, because I do talk about this a lot. And this is something I was actually talking to someone earlier today about this. But back in the day, I used to be very intimidated as a novice in the industry. You go to these things, all these people everywhere. You're trying to meet people. If you're a salesperson, you're trying to like see who like you can talk to. And it's like,
Yeah.
It really used to scare me, because I'm like, I don't mind staying up late, but to your point, if you're drinking all night and then how do you wake up in the morning and function the next day? I don't know how these people do it, because if you are drinking all day and all night, and like, how do you wake up the next day? How are you working? Because to me, I wouldn't be able to work. So I actually, over the last, 10 years, I've picked up a routine this way too. For like every one drink, I'll have like 3 or 4 like seltzers. So people think I'm drinking, and I'm really not drinking. And
I'm still in that.
Yeah, do it. Honestly, because if you don't, you know what, it's really sad to think about, but if you don't have a drink in your hand, it's like this thing that something's wrong with you, right? Like people look at you weird. And it's nothing is wrong with somebody if you don't drink, right? But I just found like people were more susceptible to talking to me if I had a drink in my hand. And when I don't have a drink in my hand, they're like, why aren't you drinking? So this way nobody can say anything, honestly, but it's so true.
Yeah.
So I used to like be very intimidated by that, but I also used to think like I can't get ahead. Like I can't compete with others who are out all night drinking. And it's something I've struggled with as younger in the mortgage industry, because again, I'm like, how do I get ahead? How can I get better? And you know what? Real work does get done during the day, but you can make some organic relationships at night. I think those are good too, but you don't have to drink all night. So that's basically my 2 cents on that.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
I love that. And I love that you touched on the fact that it is still kind of funny that, a generation below us is the first generation where they're not going to be asking, why aren't you drinking? They're like, they're the ones that are like, why are you drinking? It's like nobody asked, why aren't you smoking a cigarette anymore? That was, 30, 40 years ago.
Yes. Yes. No, you're right. But that's exactly it. I don't know. I can function without drinking. It's just, it's the other people that it's like, if you don't have a drink in your hand, something's wrong with you.
And then do you like, sorry if this is like too much on this topic, but like, do you also like have like a cutoff that you typically do for conference nights, or you're like, all right, after 11, I'm cutting it? Yeah.
It really depends how I feel, right? So I'm here on the East Coast. So if I fly to the West Coast, I'm probably going to be like dead tired by a certain time. Honestly, it really just depends on the situation. It depends what I have going on the next day. I definitely won't be drinking late if I'm out past like 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, for those who know me personally, 10 o'clock is like super late for me, but I do it anyway. But again, to your point, like I'll go to these things and like 3 nights in a row, you only get like 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And that's without really drinking heavy. And I go home and I'm sick because I'm so down, even if I'm not getting, drinking and eating like crap. It's just like the conferences take a toll on you.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear us talking about it. Like PK, thanks for taking us sideways. Like I love it.
No, this is a topic I struggled with. I think last fall, because I would go to these conferences, I would just drink, and if like Amanda, like if you're not drinking, somebody else is gonna walk up to you and be like, "What do you want?" And I'm like, and then I felt obliged to say something, and like it was weird. And I remember feeling like shit. Like I remember one of the days, but I just still woke up and went out and about, but. I hated that feeling. I hated that feeling. So,
but you're there to work, right? Like, that's the most important thing to think about. You're here to work. I know a lot of this job is social, right? Sure. Everything is social. It's who you know, not really what you know sometimes, unfortunately. Yeah. But you can do both. You just have to learn how to balance it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I
Appreciate
think
you sharing that.
you'll
Yeah.
also find that there's a point where you can tell when there's just hey, let's remove a little bit of the tension for some people so they can open up, and then there's that point where we're not going to talk about what we're talking about anymore ever again. Like there's that one point in the night where you're like, and this is the cutoff moment.
Also, you don't want anyone to go back and be like, "Did you see PK? He was pretty sloppy," right? Like that. You don't want to be known for that, right? And I don't want to be known for that. People are always watching, especially like someone like you or me, you know, or whomever like does public stuff like this and all over LinkedIn. That's our job. That's our main source of marketing. So you don't want someone to recognize your face from LinkedIn and be like, "Oh, that's the guy from LinkedIn," and "Oh, he's sloppy," like right? Like you don't want to. I mean, like this is really not mortgage related, but it is because this is what people don't talk about, right? Like this is real stuff that happens at these things.
Yeah, PK. I mean, you're like one of the very few people in their 20s who's Indian in the mortgage industry. So you gotta keep it.
You got a long ways to go, buddy.
We got to do our obligatory. How did you get sucked into the mafia that is known as the mortgage industry, Amanda?
Oh, so this is a good question. And whenever someone asks me this, I always I turn it back and I'm like, well, did you go to college to be in the mortgage industry? And everybody's answer is like, no. Nobody Nobody went to college and was like, I'm going to college so that I could be in the mortgage industry. And I think it's so funny, but I think more and more today, I think the MBA is trying to come up with some like young professional route to be in the mortgage industry for people that are. But when I was growing up, I know there was nothing like that. But to answer your question, I am in the mortgage industry due to blood. So I got in because my father is a mortgage industry veteran, and that's how I got involved. So when I was in college, I interned. And then after college, I got a real big girl job in New York City. And I got pregnant at a young age, and trying to balance being a young mom and a job that required me to be out of the house 16 hours a day, because in New Jersey, when you work in the city, you take the train, you take the subway. It's long days, and it just was not conducive to being a new mom. So I actually came back to the company I interned for, and they took me on right away, and I've been at Secure Insight ever since. So they allowed me to be a mom at a young age and build a career at the same time, and that's how I got stuck into the mortgage industry and probably will never leave.
That's awesome.
It's work-life balance.
At least you're aware of it. Yeah, it looks like you're going to be your LinkedIn. I don't know if you have the one where you can see who's viewing your profile, but because of our meeting, you're going to be like Chris Mace. It's just constant. But looks like you're going to have your 10-year anniversary here.
I am. I'm so excited. So April will be 10 years at Secure Insight, which I think is a huge milestone. And I don't know if it's the 10-year mark or just luck, but things for me this year in 2026 have already been through the roof, like insane personally and company wise. This has just been an insane year. If you're stalking my LinkedIn, which is fine. I love that.
I have not.
I can see who views my profile. I have one of those premium accounts because again, I rely on it for all my marketing. Like you can see, I'm going to be all over the place this year, and this company is doing great things. And I'm really thankful for this company because they give me opportunities, and the more opportunity, the more growth for me, more growth for the company. And I get to do things like this too.
So I got a quick question before
here we go.
No, and I was just going to ask, what did you go to college for?
Oh, you ready for this? I went to college for interpersonal communications. Do you know what that is?
I mean, I assume that's like, how do you talk to other people?
You know how I explain it? It's how to bullshit people. Well, really? I mean, not in a bad way, but how to persuade just to your how to talk to people, deal with difficult situations, communicate, and it's something you can take anywhere.
Another Nepo mortgage baby.
Listen, it's in our blood. And once you're in, you don't leave.
I'm missing the chat here. We've got a boomer watching from an airplane, which good for you, Andrew. I'm surprised that's working. Did you get tech support or someone on the plane to help you? And then
need to call out the fact that I think he just was mad that him and I have competing sessions tomorrow. Morning, I'm sorry. So he's flying to Connecticut, and I was telling you guys before, I was telling PK, I think, before we came on live that we booked this like 2-3 months ago, and I said yes. And although I committed to this, you know, I'm still here. I'm not going to the conference until after this podcast. So Andrew, you know, he went ahead, but he's mad probably sessions on Thursday morning.
Some people, I love that he can't defend himself right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get it when I see him.
Some people are dedicated. Some people are not. I can't talk after coming off of 2 weeks.
I'm for it. I'm committed. I'm here and I'm for it.
Okay, Amanda, we're here and you have a platform now and you just said things are going good. So I just you just propped yourself up to share. Like, tell us about what's going good and people like myself who have not been on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay. So, well, I will start with, you know, what works is that I've decided in 2025 to be committed to my platform and consistency. And the best compliment I can get is someone saying, I see you all over the place. So if someone says they see you all over the place, take it as a compliment. It's not like a bad thing to hear. That means you're doing your job. And I started at first, I was like, is that weird to hear? But as soon as I started hearing more and more and more, I'm like, wow, that means I'm doing my job. So the company itself is just growing. I recently have been able to expand my sales team. And, you know, like I said, we're just attending as many conferences as we possibly can. I don't know about you guys, but during COVID, we kind of took a step back because, like, what were we going to do? We stopped seeing lenders in person. We stopped traveling and, you know, took that time to just regroup and rebrand. And then 24, 25, we came back, we rebranded. We didn't stop doing business at all. We just kind of took a step back, right? And now we're Hail Marying everything. And it's really working for us, to be honest. Did that answer the question?
That I love it. PK, you look like you're about to say something, but before I want you to get in and ask a question, PK.
Well, I was just gonna set up this, just kind of double click on that about Secure Insight because you said
double click. All right, hey Silicon Valley, chill out.
So I will say the company is doing really well because you guys are in tech and you know this world, but you know, fraudsters are getting smarter by the day. And solutions like my Secure Insight solution is more and more prevalent than ever. You know, I hear it all the time, you know, wire fraud. How do we prevent wire fraud? You know, lenders are so busy that they don't know what to do, you know, to protect themselves and try to close loans at the same time and save money. And this, like, there's so much on our lenders' plates, right? You guys probably hear it, but what Secure Insight actually does is we do all that work for them so that we could be their eyes and ears, right? And then they can focus on closing loans. So what we do is vet and monitor their third-party vendors, their closing agents, so that, you know, we vet their insurance policies, we vet their wiring instructions to help prevent any type of wire fraud, their licenses, background checks, like all this really, really important stuff that goes into vetting and due diligence that they have to have in process. Secure Insight literally takes that off their plate, which helps them focus on closing loans. So I think with the fraud rising everywhere, that's just, lenders just need a product like ours. So that's probably why we're doing so well as well.
Well, I was going to ask you next, like, tell us more about Secure Insight. So let's do it, like, before we do that deep dive, because we were talking on relationships and conferences, just a natural spot before we go to the next spot, which is going to be more about your company. Liz Short, last week, her question for you was, how do you build authentic relationships meeting so many people, and how do you weave through so many connections to find the right ones?
That is such a great question because I tell you, I meet hundreds and hundreds of people, and I think Liz is listening. But to Liz's question, I'm going to use Liz as an example.
Didn't she write a book about this?
Yeah, and she did. Her and Lindsay Meyer. If you don't know Lindsay,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know her
Of
too,
course we
right?
know
Like
Lindsay.
these two phenomenal women. They are so brilliant. But besides the fact, there's people that just stand out, and then there's people you're like, I could care less if they never talk to me again. It's just because maybe they don't like make that impact on you maybe at that very time. But like Liz, she just stood out to me like this. And whenever she sees me, she's Amanda Pad, you're doing this. No. Like those people that force you into uncomfortable corners are the ones you want to stick with, right? Because they're making you do something outside of your comfort zone, right? Those people, you need to stick with them. And then there's people that you have like meaningful conversations with that you're like, you take it back and you're like, wow, like I just learned something from that person. Even if
Oh shoot.
Oh,
hold on, I'm here. I just lost. Oh, you got
you're
me
good.
now?
Yep.
I
We're
lost
good.
connection. Here
We're
we go.
back.
Then you have people that like just make a meaningful impact on you. Even if they have nothing to do with your business, you can learn something from every single conversation you have. And not to kind of sidebar, but still to answer Liz's question, I'm often asked, if someone sees me at a conference, I'll have my phone like this, and they're like, "Do you have time to meet?" And I'm going like this. I'm like, honestly, I come to these things with a packed calendar. Like, I don't even have time to breathe. The only time I have is like that 1 hour a day I carve out in the middle that I can go to my room and not talk to anybody for an hour. But like the way I do it, this is often asked of me. They're like, how do you do it? Like, how do you fill your calendar like that? Like for people learning, maybe like a younger mortgage person like PK, just learning how to do it, right? And how to maneuver. I say yes to everything within reason. So my strategy is every conversation is worth a conversation, right? Because maybe it doesn't mean anything to you today, but maybe that person can help you in 5 years from now. Maybe that person will be at a company that could help you with something tomorrow. I don't know, right? You just can't say no to a conversation because you don't
It's
feel
not
like talking.
immediately helpful. Or
Yeah, or you don't think that they have any association to you. Listen, you're all talking to the same people at the end of the day, right? Like that person could be you're into somewhere down the line. So I usually say yes to as many meetings that are asked of me within reason. I mean, if it really doesn't make sense, I'm not going to do it. If you're trying to sell me something and I really don't have the time to listen, like it's not because I don't want to. I'm really so busy. And then sometimes you make conversations with people and you're like, you know what, I'll talk to you, but maybe there's nothing here. So I just try to use those few factors when I'm keeping those in my mind. But people that follow up, you stay in touch with, those people end up weeding themselves out. So to answer Liz's question, you could just tell, or those people weed themselves out. They won't be, a bother down the line. But again, every conversation is worth the conversation.
Yeah, you meet the ones that stick around. The other ones kind of fall out the funnel.
Yeah, I mean, they might come back around because you all are in the same space, attending the same conferences. I mean, it could be surface level relationships. Hi, how are you? Like whatever, you keep it moving, but they weed themselves out. That doesn't really. I don't really have that issue, to be honest.
Take that to heart, PK, because then that person who was not very useful before is like, hey, I'm now at XYZ lender that you've been trying to land for 5 years. And you're like, oh.
So keep them close. You just never know. Just be friendly to everybody. If it comes back, it comes back. If it doesn't, it doesn't. This industry, I call it the yes man industry. And you know why I say that? Because everyone says yes. Everyone says yes to you, but very little deliver. Is that true? Does that resonate at all?
Oh, totally. And what sucks is dealing with I call it the ex-girlfriend. I deal with the ex-girlfriend's mistakes whenever it comes to stuff like in the AI space. So anyway, that's another topic. But
it's true, and those people weed themselves out too, right? Like I spent a lot of my career like trying to figure out why nobody puts in as much energy as I do, and those people weed themselves out in my life too. Like if you don't serve anything to me, then on to the next. Like I put in 100% to anything I commit to, and you just can't harp on the ones that don't bring it back, because most of this industry, they just say yes and they don't do it. It sucks, but It happens a lot, but you just got to keep your head down and keep plugging away.
I think the main theme there is just like long-term thinking there when it comes to relationships, but also just like time in the industry and not assuming that, not just thinking on a short-term scale. I think some people tend to kind of be like, what can I get out of this, today or tomorrow, and not 5 years from now or 10 years from now. And as most of us, well, I've only been here for coming up on half a decade, and so you guys have more tenure than me. But like, if it's true that once you're in, then you might as well play the long game.
It's a commitment.
Yeah.
Well, the one caveat Amanda did, she said it very carefully each time, within reason.
Yeah.
After she said, I say yes to everything within reason. So that was
if that person stands you up, don't say yes again. Right? Or if that person wastes your time, don't say yes again, because maybe they're just looking for something from you. You could just use your gut, right?
Judgment. Yeah. Good judgment.
Yeah. Pretty much.
All right. So Secure Insight, like, break it down like you're a 5-year-old, or in this case, PK. No, I'm in the same boat. Break it down like I know nothing.
Luckily, I've been doing this for a while, and this is a question I am asked often, so it's really not that complicated. So what Secure Insight has is a database, and the database has anyone that's coming to the closing table to wire and disperse funds or handle documents for the borrowers. So the lenders come to our system to make sure that those vendors, so it could be a title agent, it could be a settlement attorney, an escrow officer, a notary. Like I said, anybody that's coming to the closing table to wire and disperse funds, that they're handling very sensitive information, and the lenders want to make sure that they are a good person to do business with. So they vet their wiring instructions, their insurance policies, their licenses with the state, whatever the case may be. So the lender, what they do is they come to our database, which has over 95,000 agents. This is nationwide, right? So we were founded 15 years ago by Andrew Lippitt, who's the CEO, founder, president of Secure Insight. And back then we were more of like a data input company. So we were trying to get all these closing agents from all over the country to register with us so that lenders have data to pull. And then over the years, we've just became more of a name that now we're just more of a data maintenance. We have so many registrations with us that it just constantly maintenance of the files, because what we're trying to do is have the most accurate and up-to-date information. What makes us really great in our product is that everything is up to date. So if a lender needs to know information on a closing agent for a closing at 4 p.m. today, what they can do is pull that file or that risk report on the agent or the company and have that information at their fingertips, because time is money. So that's what makes us really valuable. If that's a good kindergarten version for you.
PK, go ahead.
Sorry, I have a lot of questions this time around.
Well, that's a good thing. That must be interesting, PK.
Also, I've heard and seen some examples where when it comes to like wiring money, for example, there's a lot of fraudulent emails that come through. It's like UWM is spelled with a V instead of a W, for example, right?
So they call it business compromise email. Yeah.
So I'm guessing what you're saying, tell me if I'm wrong, but basically this is a system where lenders have a sort of verification or like a verified stamp or something that says, this is Amanda Pad, this is her email, this is her phone number, she's legit, blah, 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 like a bunch of other information, so that when they engage with that individual or, decide to wire somebody money, they know they're talking to the right person.
Pretty much. So to your point, like with the emails, what they'll do is these fraudsters, what they'll do is they'll hack like an email and they'll watch how people communicate with each other, from the very, very beginning. Oop, I think we lost PK. Did we lose him? There he is.
I'm here.
I don't know what happened. Okay. Anyway, so what happens is they change like one digit or one number in the email or a letter, and then, that can happen. And what happens is they follow along. So if I'm saying, hey, PK, what's up, blah, 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 they'll follow like my tone of voice in the email when they hack it and they send their own emails, right? What they also do is like in the 11th hour, what they'll do is say, hey, PK, actually wire to this account and, for the 4 o'clock closing, and it will have like one digit different from the original wiring instructions that was originally sent. But to a naked eye and someone that's just trying to close a loan, they're not going to double check it. To them, it's not going to look any different. And what people do is they actually fund to it. And if they don't check what the wiring says against what Secure Insight has vetted, guess what? That money's gone. They'll never be able to get it back. More than likely, unless they report it to FBI. Really, they have it's called FBI IC3 complaint, where you can immediately report fraud right away if you noticed it was fraud. And then the sooner you report fraud, hopefully the easier they can recuperate the funds. But there's no guarantee. I mean, if it's gone in another country, another continent, whatever. These fraudsters are so smart. It's very scary.
Yeah, Chris, I'm just thinking out loud, but like, if somebody was really nefarious, like you could spin up like a bunch of agents that like monitor the conversations.
Hey, chill out with this conversation. No, I already know exactly.
It does happen. It does happen, and it's very scary.
If anything, it's going to get worse.
Oh, it's getting worse, and I'm not really I don't want to get too much into AI, and I know it's a great thing for 2026, but I know there's a lot of good solutions or technology out there that actually help. Putting AI in place is actually helpful, because I've had lenders that tell me they could put in a piece of paper or something from their loan and run it through an AI system or technology. And what it does is recognize even if one letter font is different from the original form, right? So I think we need to adopt AI and stuff like that, and not use it as oh my God, it's going to replace jobs. It's actually going to help us do our job even better in these types of circumstances and help prevent fraud.
So tell me where you would typically fit in the closing process, Amanda. So I've got my closing department. Before closing, it seems like even maybe potentially during, with what I don't know what's happening here. I don't know why this is happening. So y'all being dropped.
I'm here. I'm back. I can hear you when you're talking when it shuts me off. I don't know. Go ahead. I heard you.
I just know that Andrew's loving that there's technical difficulties.
Oh yeah,
that's okay.
Here. No, what if he's the one doing it?
It's karma because I called him out. But anyway, so I heard what you were saying. Did you finish your question?
No, yeah. Where do you fit in the process? So explain, hey, if I was going to tell a closer they're going to start using your service, what are the value? Where in the process would they jump you into the LOS? Let's just use Encompass as the big dog, and go from there.
So that's a really good question, and there's really no wrong answer. And that's because every lender's process is different. I don't have two lenders that use us the same. And that's because every lender is different. So this might be brought on by a compliance team. This might be brought on by an operations team. This might be brought on by a vendor risk. It doesn't matter. But what to answer your question, usually whoever is doing that loan setup is that first initial touch to make sure that company and that agent is registered with us. And then again, whoever is doing that funding or checking information prior to funding is going to be that person to check on that second touch. Secure Insight doesn't charge our lenders to touch the file or pull a file multiple times throughout the process. We actually encourage them, because if you think about it, funding windows can be anywhere from, I don't know what they are now. Some of them are saying they're closing in 10 days, but in real life, usually it's anywhere from 30 to 45 days, right? And that's a long time to leave a file untouched, or anything can go wrong. Let's pick on Andrew because he's not here and he's messing with our technology here. Say we pull a report on Andrew today and everything is good. We're in good standings. And then in 30 days, he's, the closing agent for when Chris is going to close his house in 30 days. And say that the closing manager forgets to pull the report, but it happened to be on that 29th day. Andrew woke up, decided to steal $800,000, run to Mexico because his wife left him and his life is over. Guess what? If that closing manager doesn't pull the report on Secure Insight, they'll never know that, Andrew committed a crime and now fled the country. So we really stand behind having the most up-to-date information, and everyone is good until they go bad. right?
So-
So if Andrew's good today, he might not be good, once he makes
Tomorrow.
it to Connecticut.
Oh, it's so great that he can't rebut. Yeah, so it's almost like the person filling out the CD page 5 is like that'd be probably like this where the contact their settlement providers.
Yeah.
They're going there. So it's kind of before. It's almost like undisclosed debt monitoring, but undisclosed fraud monitoring too. It's like wait till
Well, every lender has to have some type of process in place, whether they outsource it to like Secure Insight or if they do it internally, which is really, really, really manual, but they do it. They have to show some type of due diligence for like regulatory purposes, audits, internal audits. The CFPB says you have to do it, things like that. So whether they do it or not, they're supposed to be doing it. That's
Is that in the Fannie selling guide as well? Like it's required in there?
So if they're going for their Fannie Mae approval, yes, you have to show some type of due diligence, especially on certain trigger points. So there's like something called this financial stability of like a title insurer. So like an underwriter. So like First American, Chicago, FNF, like all these title insurers. So what Secure Insight also does is provide like a financial stability rating. So we have different points on that Fannie Mae approval process that we check a box for their approval. So the answer is yes, which is really nice. So when a lender is going for their Fannie, they usually come to us to make sure like, hey, does your process check this box?
Got it. Very cool.
So where's the highest amount of fraud today?
Ooh. You know what? That's a really good question. And I'm actually talking about this on Thursday with another few fraud experts. Besides wire fraud is always going to be up there. The other ones I'm hearing, and I can't speak too much on it. I just know I'm on the panel, and what I'm hearing is occupancy fraud, because you really can't prove that. So saying you live in some place that's a primary household, but you're not really living there, or the people living there really are not. The other one is like income fraud, like reporting income fraud. I guess that's hard to prove. Like if you have a job today and if that's still your job tomorrow. I heard that's a big one. And then wire fraud. So those are like the big 3 ones right now that I'm hearing.
For wire fraud, are there like certain patterns such as like certain states where it occurs more than others, or is there like any quirks like that you've seen?
Yo, I have, and I don't have the
That's so
chart.
funny, Mace.
Nothing.
He's just loving the great questions you have for me, and he's wondering why you don't ask so many good questions to other people.
That's exactly it.
You know what's really great, and I'm gonna have to send this to you because this is a really good question, and I don't have the data in front of me. But last year, Cotality put out a really nice map, and it showed like the top fraud states in the country. And again, I don't have it in front of me, but
I know it's Florida. I know Florida's the worst.
Florida's up there. I think Rhode Island was up there. Maybe Georgia.
Hold on. I actually want to Google it now.
There she is. Florida is the number 1 place we see the fraudulent activity. Number 1 for closing agents, at least.
Huh.
Sorry, Suha. Love you, Suha. Yeah, but their Cotality did publish something last year, which is it was a really good one. They did release it at the Risk and Compliance Conference last year in September, and it was really, really, really cool. But it is a good question because it is good to know.
So let's say that this does occur and you're a lender and you just wired the wrong person the wrong money. The only recourse you have is to reach out to the FBI, and there's nothing else you can do.
Yeah, unless they try to, crawl back that wire. I don't know. Usually, once it's gone, it's gone. Unless you could get the bank to stop it, but it might be too late by the time they realize it.
PK's over here talking about setting up agents to do wire fraud. He's asking about how his repercussions were like. Now maybe
I shouldn't tell him anything.
Amanda's like Amanda, what is the statute of limitations for wire fraud?
How many years will I do in jail?
I have jokes. I have more jokes on this, but it's gonna get darker, and so I'm just not gonna say any of those.
This is turning. No wonder he's asking all the questions this time, Amanda. He's looking at a new career.
I'm giving him ideas, apparently. Oh man.
Looks like Jen Chapman had a good comment here, and this is something that I think is
There
also
we
very
go.
important.
Oh, that's great.
She said, as soon as the CD is started, Elo should be calling borrowers. This is where it happens most often. Educate, educate, educate.
Well, to Jen's point, sorry to cut you, Chris,
Yep.
but the most uneducated person is who?
The borrower.
The borrower. Exactly.
Wait, why do you say that? That seems counterintuitive to me.
Well, think about this.
You think the borrower knows more about the transaction than
Yeah,
anybody else?
well, exactly. Do you think they know how to prevent wire fraud? If you ask a borrower, like just someone that's not anybody, it doesn't even have to be a borrower. If you ask somebody that's not in the mortgage industry and you say, just turn to anybody, even someone in your family, do you know how to prevent wire fraud? They're the most.
They would say no.
They would know. They would say no. And that's
you said uneducated. I thought you said
I'm sorry, uneducated person.
Oh, there you go. I'm following you now.
I heard.
I was like, how did you not understand that?
Sorry.
No. I thought you said educated, and I was like, wait a second. That seems counterintuitive.
I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good.
But yeah, no, they are the most uneducated person at the closing table.
As they should be, right?
Right. So that's why they rely on settlement agents and I guess you could say realtors, but the realtors just care about their reputation sometimes.
Yeah.
They're really not that intertwined with wire fraud prevention either. But and the lender, I mean.
And Jen said something there, like, Amanda, your company you can only control so much, right? We had an LO at my previous mortgage company. He was like, I've been hacked. Like, we've been hacked. Something's going on. And then like went and looked, because like consistently there was like 3 scenarios that popped up. So it was like all hands on deck. And then he did a lot of volume. Well, guess what? It was all with the same realtor, and he followed the same connection. It was the realtor that was hacked, and the realtor once he would communicate certain points, that realtor's email was hacked, and then he sent an email that looked like coming from Momentum, and that would come over, and he's like, no, you're not. Like, look, and he would show the email that they got, and then of course he's not a tech guy, so I'm like, look, dude, that's not from you. Like, and he's like, oh, it doesn't even look like my signature. Like, it's misspelling stuff. I'm like, yeah, it took you how long to notice this? So anyway, it's funny that there's only so much the lender can do too.
Yeah. No, but to Jen's point, the education is so key.
This point about the realtor being hacked, and even what Jen just said, they just use their own personal email sometimes. How do you get around that? And does your platform also like cover that aspect, or is there nothing much you can really do?
No, but funny you mentioned that. So because we've built relationships with closing agents over the last 15 years, after so much time, they came to us and they said, what about us? We want to feel protected too. So when Chris was reading about me on ChatGPT or however he got my bio, I played in this really pivotal role in developing and launching a tool that we have for any small business at all. It doesn't have to be a settlement agent. It could be a realtor. It could be whomever is wiring funds, where they can come on and actually replace that phone call to the bank. So we have an integration into what they call the early warning system. And what it does is you electronically ping the bank records. So a lot of people are wasting a lot of time, realtors, settlement agents, at these types of situations, wasting time trying to get a bank to verify wire instructions. So we created that tool for small businesses, anybody at all that can come on and electronically within seconds verify if that person or that business, verifies or owns that business account or that person's account. So again, there's other tools out there, but we created that for the other end of the business to help with that side, which is really cool too.
Smart. So it's like you send a small transaction and or like a small dollar volume and see if it's legit.
No, it actually does. We don't do that. We actually put in minimal data. So what you literally can do if you want to see if someone owns a bank account and if it's the right account. So if you have to wire funds to somebody, you want to make sure that they own the account. What you could do is say you're trying to verify my account, say. So what you would do is put my first and last name in, my routing, and my account number, and then you get a result back. It's either the system is telling you, yes, Amanda Pad owns this account, no, maybe you like fat fingered something, or no, account failed. Amanda Pad does not own this bank account at this bank. So it gives you like a risk rating so that you know, like, okay, is this owned by Amanda or
Legit
is
or
it?
not.
Yeah, exactly. So you know who you're wiring the account to and if that person owns that account or the business owns that account.
Gotcha.
That's
Very
that's
cool.
a long
Yeah.
time ago, PK, before you had a bank account, you used to they used to deposit like two different amounts, like a penny and 3 pennies. Like you
Yes.
had to tell them what that
To
was.
verify.
Well, I still see some people do that nowadays. That's why I'm familiar with it. Like I've seen like, oh, we're gonna put a small transaction to validate whether or not this is legit or not.
See, they're not using good software like Secure Insight. There's your plug.
All this stuff is kind of scary to me. I'm just like putting the if I'm being like if someone's well equipped and smart enough to be malicious, like there's so much like, I don't know, damage you could do. Like it just seems kind of scary to be on the other side of it.
Well, that and like one bad hit can completely take out a lender's business. Say they lose like a smaller lender, one bad hit, that's it. Like they'll never be able to close another loan again. So like for a couple dollars a pull, we're so affordable. It's like usually a no-brainer for most lenders, to be honest.
So where do you think lenders think they are covered the most and they're not? So like, what's the whole, all right, Amanda, like I've got this covered, and you're like, all right, I'm giving you your counter pitch right here. It's like, no, actually, did you know about this spot? What's the hole that they think is covered that they don't have?
So they think that the warehouse bank is doing it for them, and they're not. So I hear it a lot. If I'm trying to pitch it to someone, an originator, and I'm like, hey, like, what are you doing to currently vet and monitor your settlement agents? And they're like, my warehouse bank does that for me. I don't have to do it. And false. Go ask your warehouse lender if they're indemnifying you, because they're not. So the warehouse lender has their own obligation to do their own due diligence, but they are not covering their originators. So once they hear that from me, they're like, oh, wait, maybe I should go ask my warehouse bank. Or maybe they're just saying it to get me to go away. I'm not really sure, but the warehouse bank is not doing it for them. They have to have their own due diligence process in place. So that's the answer.
Sounds like there's a opportunity to do some partnership education with the warehouse banks.
Always open to that. I'm open to anything within reason, right? I said
yes, within reason.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Nobody's going to do it on behalf of them, to be honest.
And this isn't creating any friction for the borrower. I mean, this is really, this is 20 seconds out of the process. Ding dong. Ding.
No, so some people might say like, oh, this is going to hold up a closing, but it actually doesn't. So usually if someone is not registered with us in Secure Insight, like I said, like most of the agents are already registered with us. Sometimes there might be few, maybe someone is new to the industry. Maybe they work at a new company. Maybe a lot of these bigger title companies are eating up the smaller companies. So we don't have 100%, but if someone does not register, it's usually a red flag, meaning they don't want to be found, meaning they don't want us to uncover anything. So the only time like the borrower is really affected is if like they're the ones picking the title agent and they can't pick a new one, right? But the borrower is not really picking the title agent. It's usually on the realtor, right? Because they're the ones with the relationship. So it doesn't affect the borrower unless there's an issue with the title agent. And if there's an issue with the title agent, it's probably because they don't want something to be uncovered and something they're hiding.
How long is the process? So let's say it comes to, I guess it's really going to be kind of new people at a title company is what it sounds like. So I'm new here, or I'm new to the industry. This is my first time. I'm training. All right. Sure. Sign up process. What's that like for the new person? 5 minutes?
So it's very simple. So they come to our system, they apply. I think the applications, it takes like 5 to 7 minutes. And as soon as they get us all the documentation we need to vet them, and as quickly as they comply, we can get it turned around and vetted. What we're doing is like literally deep dive vetting. We verify everything directly with the source, meaning the bank, the insurance, all that. So it's not like an immediate thing because we're directly verifying it with outside parties that are the direct source. So it could take like 2 to 3 business days. But again, never have held up a closing. If someone's doing it as early on in the process, they have more than enough time to wait 2 days to get that person vetted.
Also, this might be a silly question, but why does the realtor pick the title agent? Why wouldn't a lender pick that?
The lender used to pick them back in the day when I started. I used to hear that the lender got to pick it. I think that the relationship is like the realtor, like they tell the borrower who to pick for the inspection. They tell the borrower who to pick for this. They tell them who, like it's all relationship based. Even sometimes the realtor tells what lender to use. Like a borrower, again, the most uneducated person at the table. They don't have the relationships. They don't know. They might not know what a title agent is. They might not know what lender to use. Like they rely on the realtor to be their advice, like their
guide.
Their guide, because the realtor is supposed to be giving them, the best, advice they can. I mean, that would be my only explanation for it.
Well, I want to scroll up to something Jen said.
Sure.
Following what you said, Amanda, realtors are supposed to be the source of truth for them. And Jen shared this earlier.
I don't want to say it, but I agree with her. And it's really scary for lenders because they don't get to pick who they're wiring dispersing funds with. That's scary. That they don't get to pick who they're doing business with. The realtor is picking, and sometimes the realtor's in on the fraud, right? It could happen.
Interesting. So Lindsay and Jen just added some context here. So purchase contracts mostly say listing realtors choose the title co. And then Lindsay's comment was purchase versus refi. Does that mean in refi is the lenders choosing the title company?
It could be, yeah. So the purchase is mainly the realtor is picking, but the refi, the lender can pick.
Got it. I would imagine like if I'm a buyer, I'm like, I don't really care who the title company is. Like, why is that even a choice that I have to pick from? Like, I would imagine the lender just abstracts that away from
tell me who to use, right? Like, that's one less thing I have to think about. That's probably what they're thinking, right?
PK, it's the same thing as why does a realtor pick an LO? Why does a realtor pick a title?
All relationship based. Everybody
ass kissing. Sorry. Anyway, it's networking.
Yeah, same thing.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
It's
PK gets more red pilled every day. He's like more. He's not the lead.
I'm just thinking
as
if I'm
long
like
as he's not scheming on how to commit wire fraud, we're good.
No, I definitely not going down that route.
I'm waiting to see you in the headline. Okay.
I have inappropriate jokes that I'm going to make with you after.
Me too. I'm like, I don't want to be #sloppy.
Oh yeah, that's you. Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like I'm loving this discussion. I feel like we could go for hours, and I know we've got 7 minutes left. So our next guest, I don't know if you know him, Mike Ferrasi from Red Button Media. Absolutely funny dude, awesome dude, amazing content. He's doing amazing video stuff. You are up to ask a question for him, who is our guest next week, which I literally I'm like over here looking at the guest list and I'm like, oh, cool. He's next week. Like, so I'm finding out right now. So what's your question for Mr. Ferrasi?
Sure. So I did a little digging on his LinkedIn. Unfortunately, I don't know him, but it looks like I do want to know him. He seems like a really cool guy. But I did write down a question and I want to ask him, what got him into digital content creation and social media marketing, and what advice would he give someone about staying consistent?
Ooh, consistent. He's going to, as soon as you just said that, he's going to target me. Like, watch, mark my words. See if he listens to this one, because, yeah, staying consistent is going to be something he's going to target me with. Watch.
I'll listen in and see what he says.
I feel like Jeremy and Amanda have started we got a lot of following here. It's already the chat has been lit today. Yeah,
this was a fun
Amanda.
one.
It's like you're bringing them out.
Good.
Maybe it's just Andrew wasn't here.
Oh man.
So real quick though, just one question: how often is it true fraud versus fat fingering?
Oh, so
or like mistakes, is human error?
That's hard.
which is equally important, by the way. I mean, that's almost even
Yes,
scarier because when
so
it's a
you
fat
know
finger,
what?
it's harder to catch.
Yeah. So the number one like reason for mistakes is human error. You know what I'm saying? Fat fingering, not double checking your work. Now, when a lender is looking for a closing agent in the system, I'm not sure how often they're fat fingering things. If they don't get a result, it's probably because they fat fingered something. So I'm not sure. I don't have the data on that because we don't like record that. It's basically it's either it matches or it doesn't, right? But on the other end of our business, when someone's trying to use our TruePay tool, you will not believe how many people fat finger and get a not so ideal result, and then they have to go back and change, go back and change. It happens multiple times before they actually put the right information in and get the correct result back. I don't know why it is, but I don't have exact data, but it does happen more often than you think. Human error is huge. Everybody needs to slow down. That's it. You have to slow down and double
Put
check.
your phone down.
Yeah, just pay attention. Everyone's so busy trying to close loans or whatever they're doing. I get it. But that is when mistakes happen, when they don't slow down.
All right, we're entering conference season. So I'm going to hit
Yes.
you with a little bit of some conference questions.
Go.
All right. Lightning round. Just pepper them fast as possible.
Okay, go.
Number one tip for a conference goer.
Don't drink too much.
Okay, love that.
Okay.
Best conference city.
Ooh, that's a hard one. Oh, best conference city, New York City or
New York?
Nashville.
Wow, that's
Nashville.
a jump. Okay, I love that jump. Favorite part of Nashville?
Ooh,
What's the aspect of
Gulch.
Nashville that makes you okay?
Yeah, what was the answer?
the Gulch. You know, like there's like not on Broadway. There's like another area that's all like stores that are more like higher end, and it's not like bars. It's more shopping.
I've never been, so I'll have to go next time, or the first time.
All right, for yourself, favorite type of session is it fireside, solo speech, or panel?
Panels.
Panel. I
Panels are
like
fun.
that one too. Cardio or
You did a
strength?
good job in your I think the New England Mortgage Bankers one. You did a talk, and that was good. I remember taking
Yeah,
notes.
I moderated. That was a really good one. That was a hard one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
Chris.
agree. I mean, it was a great one because I was told that their session was the best. So. Amanda's like, hold on, never mind.
No. Go ahead.
Cardio or strength training in the morning?
Ooh, do I have to pick one?
You can pick both.
Both. All the
Okay.
above.
Amanda, are you the one doing 300 push-ups?
Yeah.
Is it every single day, by the way?
Honestly, I used to do more, but now sometimes I have lighter days where I'll only do like 50 or 100.
Fair enough.
Explain 300 push-ups.
Explain
Other than
it.
other than the fact that it's 300. You're doing 300 in a row?
No. So I do it in between my sets so that I keep sweating in between. You know those people that sit there on their phone in between sets? That's not me. I'll do push-ups.
Okay.
Amanda's intense.
I have an answer for everything.
Wow.
Apparently.
Okay. Do you use, so, they have liquid courage. Do you do, before a panel, do you ever do was there a workout before panels? Does that help?
No, I just stay to my normal routine. There's nothing I do different.
You don't have any pre-presentation, pre-session ritual?
No, not really.
Okay, what about pre-workout during workouts? Do you drink pre-workout?
So I do, but it's very, very little. I do something that's really, really like no garbage in it. It's called pre-powders, and it's all like natural stuff.
Okay.
And I put,
Caffeine?
they have something called they have something called also Relight, where it's all like electrolytes. So I put a lot of that. So I like convince my mind that there's more pre-workout in there than there really is, and it's really mainly electrolytes.
Okay.
And I'm all about placebo effects. If it I'm all for it.
Yeah. It's like super sugary, and I'm like, wow, this must be a lot of pre-workout. I'm like jittery.
Okay, hotel gym. Do you use them, or do you just do plyo aside from your hotel gym?
I don't stay at hotels that don't have gyms.
Okay, there's a tip right there when you're booking.
Make it easy for yourself to be consistent.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're wrapping up. Tell us what's going on, how people can get a hold of you, and where they can catch up with you.
Sure. So the best way of getting a hold of me is via LinkedIn. I'm all over the place. But if you are going to be at the Northeast Mortgage Summit, I will be there this week on Thursday, talking with another bunch of fraud experts on the most fraud moves killing deals in 2026. You'll also find me next month at New Jersey MBA. I'm talking on 2 sessions, and it's going to be a great session. But other than that, I will be all over the place, all over the country at all of the conferences this year.
Love it. Well,
Amazing.
if you're not following her already, go get connected. Thank you for your time, Amanda. This has been awesome.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. And sorry, Andrew couldn't be here. He missed out on a lot of fun.
He did.
All right, here's to, and we'll have you again next year for sure.
Awesome. Sign me up.
Have a good conference, and we're going to wrap it up.